It's been going on for billions of years, right? So what if you just said, I need to work with myself. I'm out of control here, right?
Right.
The weather is not mine. I don't own it. It's nothing to do with me. Why am I letting it bother me, right? Why don't I sit there and say, oh, it's raining. Isn't that nice? I tell people here, you live on a planet that water falls out of the sky. Mm-hmm. If you're on Venus, hydrochloric acid falls out of the sky, right? If you're on the moon, there's no water. Mars, we haven't seen water fall out of the sky. You live on a planet that water falls out of the sky. Isn't that nice? And you just work with yourself. And you sit there and say, I'm okay when it rains. In fact, I like it. But I was supposed to go camping. Fine, I won't. I'd rather not go camping and enjoy my experience of not going camping than not go camping and make myself suffer because I thought I'd be happy going to camping.
Right.
And you start working with yourself. You can change. People learn calculus. People learn to play the piano. People learn to play tennis. They weren't good at it when they started. People all the time say, oh, I'm not like that. I can't do that. Of course you can't do it to start with. You have the ability to learn. It's the most important thing to learn. How to be okay with reality. It's a new game. Not how to try to make it be what I want. You're not going to do that. It's just going to make you miserable, all right? How can I learn to be okay with reality, to enjoy reality? You start with little things. So you start with the weather, right? What about when it's really hot? I don't even it's hot. Again, I tell people, do you know what hot is? You happen to be close enough to a star to feel its heat. Well, people like stars. We look up at the stars, they're romantic, they're unbelievable. Imagine getting close enough to a star that it's burning you. That's what's happening when you're hot. Wow, that's pretty exciting, all right? You get to do this. Who's stopping you? Nobody. It's your own world in there. Nobody else lives in there. Fix it. You make your apartment nice, make it nice inside. All right? So you start working with yourself with the weather. Then I mentioned the person driving in front of you. I'm in a rush and they're going 45 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone and I can't pass them. That's reality. When you can pass them, by all means, pass them. But if you're driving yourself crazy, talking to them, complaining about them, asking what's wrong with them, why don't they drive the speed limit, et cetera, you're not doing anything but creating commotion and confusion and disturbance inside yourself, right? You know, in business, we do cost-benefit analysis, don't we? Right? Right? Here's your cost-benefit analysis of that. Cost 100%, benefit 0. What kind of person would make a decision like that? It's crazy, right? So you decide to be rational. Some people say spirituality is not rational. It is rational. It's the only rational thing. And so you sit there and say, okay, yes, when the person is driving that way, I see the tendency to get disturbed. That's a habit. I haven't learned to be higher than that. I've let myself be like that my whole life. Well, I'm going to start to change. It's not going to change overnight, but little by little, I can say things like, you know, I like to drive faster. They like to drive slower. They have as much rights as I do. All right? I get to pass them when the lines are dotted, but who am I, right? Not that my way is the best or right or anything like that. It's just my way, right? So I honor and respect that this person is enjoying their day, and I drop back a little bit and just say, cool, it's okay. We can enjoy this. When it's time to pass, we'll pass. Big deal. 2 blocks later, they turn, and you literally could ruin your day and tell everybody, slow driver.
And what's irrational is wishing they were driving the way you want them to
That's
drive.
Right. It's not only irrational, it's Hitleresque. Right? I mean, it's like, who are you? Right? You're a dictator.
Right.
Why is your way right? You follow me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so
absolutely.
You start to work with yourself. It's a very personal thing that you do, and you do it for the reason of realizing I am making myself miserable, and then I'm expecting my husband and my children and the money to make me better. I'm going to kill myself and then have a vacation to Hawaii, and it's going to fix everything. No, it's not. It's crazy. Well, you shouldn't even ever need a vacation. You should enjoy your life so much that every moment of it is exciting as going anywhere else.
So you start by noticing, in the book you say what part of yourself is disturbed.
That's right.
Right. So you start by noticing what part of me is disturbed by this event or this moment. And then that just helps you realize that you are being disturbed versus projecting onto that car
Yes.
or that situation or that event. Is that right? Is that
You are in there. How? Remember I said, how do you know your heart hurts? How do you know you're disturbed? I'm not interested in how disturbed you are. I'm not interested in why you're disturbed. I'm interested in how do you know you're disturbed. Somebody knows, otherwise you wouldn't know, right? I know because I'm in here noticing this stuff in my stomach, this stuff in my heart, my mind, whatever it is, right? I'm interested in you who notices. And what you do is the minute you notice, you relax. That's the highest technique that exists. But people misunderstand. They think, yeah, but it won't relax. I try, the mind won't relax. I didn't ask the mind to relax. I didn't ask the heart to relax. I didn't ask the body to relax. I asked you to relax. You in there who's noticing, you're going to want to do something about it. Saying we're back to this discomfort, the original primal discomfort. You understand that, right? Amazing that the car in front of you can make you go back there, right? And you start feeling uncomfortable, right? Well, you want to defend yourself, you want to protect yourself, so you start complaining and yelling. I'll never drive on this road before. Again, blah. You're doing that. Every single thing you do is an attempt to protect yourself from what's uncomfortable, right? Right? The only thing that is meaningful to do when a disturbance is happening inside of you is to relax. That's the highest way you can work your way through the disturbance, is you don't resist it, don't complain about it, just relax. So I'm not saying you don't do anything. You do something, you relax. You just relax yourself. Relax your body, relax your chest, relax your buttocks. Just relax. Mostly, there's the disturbance, here's me, I'm relaxing. When you're relaxing, you can't get engaged with the disturbance. If I relax, I can't fight with you. You understand that? I've disengaged, right? And so I relax. And what's going to happen is, because you're relaxed, that disturbance has room to pass through. It'll pass through. Everything passes through. There's not a single thing in life that doesn't come and go. It's been doing it for 13.8 billion years, right? Nothing stays the same. It all comes and goes. Inside, it will just come and go. A little bit, maybe not right away, but over time, if you leave it alone, you're going to realize it will just come and go. And eventually it won't even be there. It won't be there. Somebody will drive in front of you and you'll forget to be bothered by it. You'll get home and say, God, 5 miles I drove on this person and I didn't even think about it. That was how we were driving. This is what's happening now. It's raining. That's what's happening. It didn't even... little by little, you let go of the part of you that is using the world to define you. Right? You're literally using the world. I should be driving 55 miles an hour. I have a place to go.
Yeah.
So this is disturbing who I am. That's what road rage is. Why would somebody get out of a car and kill somebody because of the speed they're driving? Because it actually challenged their ability to be themselves. You understand that?
I do, and I'm thinking, you talk about, toward the end of the book, the unconditional happiness, and I'm thinking, this is the moment of choice. This is the choice. This is the power you have to choose which path you're going to go in each moment.
You were given free will. I don't want to go biblical on you, but that is what that means. That doesn't mean you get to make mountains move and you get to make everybody be. That's not the kind of free will we're talking about. In there's nobody else in there. That is your domain. There's no competition, no nothing. It's completely your world. It can be any way you want. Get to work.
I will. I will do it. I will do it now. So I'm as you're talking, you're reminding me, one of my favorite chapters in your book is chapter 5 on infinite energy. And I'm wondering, as you're talking and we're discussing the disturbances, I was thinking about the blocked energy that you talk about and the infinite energy. And would you share with us your thoughts about that, how that works?
We have actually been discussing that the whole time.
Exactly.
What happens is this. You are a being of energy. In other words, you, the consciousness, the Atman, the soul, the self, call it whatever you want, all right? Awareness of being is power. You have a nature. They call it your Buddha nature. You have a nature. You in there, right? You have a nature, you who sees. It happens to be ecstasy, joy, love, bliss, power, strength, light. It's beautiful. You're beautiful, okay? That is your nature. What you're looking at is not that way. What you're looking at is what you built to lock yourself up in this little house that has to be a certain way. Every single thing that you have stored inside, and that's what you're doing, you're storing the stuff inside, like circumstances happen in the past, they're over. I don't understand why they're still in there. I really don't. I don't understand. Right? Your mother died when you were 5 years old. You're now 63. And every time you hear the word mother, you start crying. Right? And you resent it. That she left you alone. And you know, you've done therapy. Right? People have all these things. Why would something that happened 50 years ago and isn't happening ever again for 50 years still be happening inside of you? Because you couldn't handle it when it happened. Do you understand that? It came in. It did not fit the world that you created. Therefore, you didn't want to experience it. Now, this is the most important thing you'll ever learn. You literally didn't want to experience what actually you're experiencing. But how do you not experience what you're experiencing? You push it away.
Yeah.
You're in there with will. You ever push an emotion away? Ever push a thought away? Right? Freud had a name for that, suppression. That's what that is. You're pushing the energy away so it doesn't come all the way in your face, all the way up here. You push it away inside. When you do that, it stays in there. It stays in there, and it doesn't ever, it'll be in your deathbed. It doesn't go away. It doesn't just dissipate by itself. It actually rots down there, and that's all psychology. All psychology agrees with me. That is the foundation of psychology, that you have held that stuff inside. If you have a bad experience, one person, it is traumatic. What does traumatic mean? I couldn't handle it. I pushed it down there. It keeps trying to come back up. I can't do anything that reminds me of it. The other person had the experience. It was bad, and they let it go. Then they didn't have a traumatic experience. No experience is traumatic. Your inability to handle it makes it traumatic. Some people handle things, don't they? Some
Yeah,
people
exactly.
don't.
I've always been fascinated when there are, siblings in a family
Yes.
and they all experience the exact same event, but they are affected so differently.
That's right. That's why. So
Right.
we'll do your energy. We'll say focus. When you push that down there, it stays. Where it stays in you is actually in the channel where your energy flows. It draws your consciousness to it, even subconsciously, you know that, right?
Right.
Therefore, this energy that you are is being dissipated to hold, you're both holding it down, takes energy to hold it down, right? You're keeping it from coming back up. You're expending all kinds of energy in order to deal with this. That's where your energy's going. And you do the same thing, by the way, with positive things.
Right. It's the emotional effort.
It's more than emotional.
Yeah,
you asked
right.
about energetic.
Exactly.
It's energy. It's literally, we call it Shakti, Chi, Shakti, spirit, all the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the word for this energy. Sometimes you feel full of energy, don't you? Sometimes you feel completely drained, right? That's not emotion. That's energy.
Right,
all right?
exactly.
It's your energetic level. When you expend your energy to hold something in there that isn't even happening anymore, and you keep struggling with it, or something good happened, and you don't want it to stop. Somebody says something really nice to you, you do what we call clinging. Buddhists call it clinging. You hold it in there. I don't want it to go away. Well, then you miss everything else. If he doesn't come back and say it nice again, you get disappointed. So now you've expended energy clinging, or you expended energy resisting. By the time I put those two things down there, I've just defined all your energy. You understand that?
And you could be doing them all at the same time.
Oh my God, you're so
simultaneously.
multitasked, it's unbelievable. Hey, you can be doing them all at the same time about the same thing. You can both love-hate relationship. You get one situation happened, you loved it, it was blue. The other happened, it freaked you out, it was blue. Now what? You're blue about blue. You know, you blew it. Right? So it gets very complicated there, doesn't it? Right? And so now every thought you have and all the emotions you have are all tied up in that stuff you held inside. Now you have to struggle with your emotions. Now you have to build your ego. Now you have to maintain it. You have used so much energy that no wonder you're tired. No wonder you don't want to go to bed. No wonder you want to sleep all the time. No wonder everything irritates you. You're all the edge, right? So you asked me about the energy. This is the essence of yoga, right? Let go of that stuff. I don't care what technique you use. I don't care if you meditate. I don't care if you do mantra. I don't care what you do, turn malabis. I don't care, right? Get rid of that stuff that you are holding inside, and you will know everything there is to know about the energy you asked a question about. As you let it go, is it not true that in traditional Freudian psychology, where you have a therapist working you through and finding mommy problems, right? That it often happens that when you finally have a psychological breakthrough, a therapeutic breakthrough, that you get filled with energy, you can't even sleep at night for days. You're just like all of a sudden a totally different person. You're so excited, right or wrong?
Right.
You have released the energy that was being wasted on all of that stuff. And by opening up that hole, all of a sudden a natural energy flow is that, but it won't stay. You understand that? There'll be the next one and the next one. The key is you in there have to decide, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live blocked. I don't want to serve my blockages, right? So what you do is you start doing what we talked about. Little by little, you let go. You just keep letting go, keep letting go. And little by little, stuff keeps coming up and you keep letting go. If you deal with the little things, it's not a big deal. If you deal with the little things, you're training yourself. It's like playing scales on a piano instead of sitting down to play Beethoven to start with, right? As you do that, all of a sudden you naturally get better. And because you let go of the rain and you let go of the person driving in front of you, let go of the person who beeped at you and freaked you out, right? Let go of the person who yelled at you because they were having a bad day. And you just keep letting go and letting go. Something bigger will come up from the past. I guarantee you it will happen by itself. In fact, I'm putting the skull and crossbone on this. I guarantee you it will come back up. It does it in your dreams because you're not there to keep it down all the time. You understand that? Mm-hmm. It will do it in your normal life. Little things will stimulate, and all of a sudden you'll feel, oh, God, I haven't felt this since my mother died, or this since my first husband left, or so on. Now, if that sounds scary to you, good, right? Because you don't want that in there. And it'll come up, but now that you got better at it, you just do the same thing. You relax. You let it pass. It doesn't matter if it takes 1, 10, 50 times. The point is at least you're working with it to work it out, to let it go, instead of working with it to never talk about it and push it back down. As you do that, at some point, it's going to the tipping balance will be reached. And all of a sudden, you'll wake up one morning, and there will be waves, and I mean waves, of ecstasy just pouring through your being, wave after wave, throng upon throng, higher than the highest love experience you ever had, right? Just no reason, just absolutely pouring through your being. That is your natural state. That is who you are. You are a very high being. And when you remove these blockages, that energy can flow. And then you'll go through the day and you'll feel this uplifting energy, and somebody will say something or not say something, and you'll notice that it's slowed it down. And you have a choice. Go with your stuff and lose the ecstasy, or let go of your stuff and build the channel so this energy can flow. And you just more and more every time. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what it is. I am not giving up this energy. You can do that with love. You know, people, right? When you fall in love, and it's a beautiful experience. You're experiencing some of that energy. But then somebody does something, or somebody says something, or it's not what you expected. You have a choice. Give up the love, or let go of what bothered you. Isn't that the choice in a relationship? Okay, so it's no different, right? Except you're doing that with spirit. You're doing it with Shakti. You're doing it with the energy. That's yoga, right? Spirituality. And you just keep letting go, and it gets stronger and stronger, and there is no end to how high you can get. You are infinite energies. It's, Master Yogananda once said, right? You have to do these practices because if the energy ever flowed freely inside of you, it'd blow you up. You have to get used to being able to handle those amounts of energy. So as you work your way through your chakras, through the different energy systems, right, you're learning to handle these amazing amounts of power. And at some point, the energy doesn't stay inside of you. It starts pouring off your hands, off the top of your head. It's just pouring. And people feel it. That's a spiritual being. That's why saints have halos. It is literally that energy pouring off. That's why Christ could heal. That's why you are a great being. You are a great being, and that is true of every single person that walks the face of this earth. Right? Now, what they do with themselves is sell out to this personal garbage game. Right? They don't feel great. They feel like beggars. I have to have things a certain way. So, there's your answer. That's all you need to know about energy.
So, I believe in this chapter too, you talk about letting pain pass through your heart. Yes. Because I can't help but think about things that are a little more difficult to let go of than perhaps, the smaller steps we take with the rain or a driver we don't like. But there are, of course, things that are more painful
Yes, of course
and
there are.
more challenging, and people who we're close to that we lose, and so you do talk about letting pain pass through your heart, and I love that phrase. And you also talk about the heart chakra.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if you can just go into that a little bit more.
Well, as you let go, you become more open. I don't want to call it vulnerable. You become more open, right? When we're back to the analogy of my friend Paul's surrounded, right?
Okay,
When
right.
those people fell down, oh my God, I'm exposed, right? Well, you want to be. If he wants to work through his insecurity problem, he didn't do it. He can keep those people around him with Uzis for 30 years. They fall down, he's going to have a heart attack. Understand that? He's not working at the right level. So, yes, life has all kinds of things happen in life. Some of them when they come in are pleasant, and some of them come in are not pleasant. Not just because you have stuff in there, right? If you see a rattlesnake, anybody, it's a scary thing. Its vibration is scary. It has its nature. You understand that? If a butterfly comes and lands on you, it's a beautiful thing. Its vibration is pleasant and nice. That's not you. You're not doing that. That's not psychological. That's experiential. See the difference?
Yes.
All right? So the question is, are we willing to have the experiences that we have, learn from them, by all means, not push them away, learn from them. I can learn from the rattlesnake. I can learn from the fear it creates. I can learn that he'll crawl away if I leave him alone, right? I don't have to do anything else but experience it and learn. And it became part of me. Doesn't mean I'm afraid of rattlesnakes from then on. In fact, I shouldn't be. I am an experiencer of rattlesnakes. I had the experience, so now you want to go hiking with me because I don't freak out and you run around and throw things at them. You understand that?
Right.
I've learned how to deal with rattlesnakes. I've learned how to deal with death. I've learned how to deal with divorce. I've learned how to deal with different things that happen, right? Doesn't mean I like it, that I want it, that it doesn't cause disturbance when it happens, but I'm not reacting to that disturbance and letting the disturbance run my life. I'm maintaining centered and clear inside, noticing that there's the event outside coming in and that it is not comfortable when it comes in. I notice that and I relax. I relax and release. It's always R&R, relax and release. You constantly relax and release, and then your initial reaction of disturbance passes. When the rattlesnake goes away, why do I still feel disturbed? Because I wasn't willing to accept the experience. If you accept the experience, as be here now, if you accept the experience and it comes in, when the experience is no longer happening, you're just left a wiser person. Aren't I wiser because of the experiences I had? Right? I'm not still scared. There's nothing to be scared of. Okay? All right. And so now that's how you deal with the situations in your life. Doesn't mean they're all pleasant. Nobody's saying if you meditate and do mantra, read the Bible, whatever it is, that nothing, use the word bad, nothing bad will happen to you. Well, I say nothing bad will happen to you because there is nothing bad. There's just experiences that unfold, right, that we learn from. All right? Doesn't mean they're comfortable. But there's nothing wrong with something being uncomfortable. Hey, no pain, no gain when we lift weights. Right or wrong? Don't we
Right.
use that expression?
Right.
Right. Well, why don't we use that
Right.
inside?
Right.
No pain, no gain. Right? When somebody's massaging you, ever had a massage? Right? Somebody's massaging you, and all of a sudden there's a sore spot. What do? You say, "Oh, there, it hurts really bad there." You know darn well they're going to go down deeper, aren't they? Well, I don't understand. Inside you're a baby. Anything hurts? No, it's wrong. Don't touch me. Get away from me. Right? Literally. Right? Why don't we deal with it exactly the same inside as we deal with it outside? And just sit there and say, yes, there are experiences in life that are not pleasant. Good. I like to learn from them. Doesn't mean I want to have them. I'm not praying for them, right? But if they happen to present themselves in front of me, this is my opportunity to become a greater being, to be able to handle the reality of life. There.
And so that's also the thorn you talk about, right? That you can carry.
You let it go. Let things go.
Yeah.
Instead of compensating for them and learning how to be okay that it's there, it's only there because inside there are no thorns. There's no physical being. It's etheric inside. It's completely open. How hard is it for you to change your mind? Right or wrong?
Right.
Okay? There's nothing in there. It's totally empty, right? It's just loose, right? It's looser than the clouds. So why not make it nice in there? So if something comes in and it's disturbing, I always tell people, if you went through a traumatic, terrible experience when you were young, I wish I could go down there and beat the people up and go back in time and do that. But I can't. And you can't either, nor can anybody else, right? So I will blame the person who mistreated you or did this thing to you when you were 5 years old, you was an innocent child, right, for causing that problem then, but they stopped. They went away, they moved, they died, arrested, I don't care, it's whatever.
Over.
It's over.
Right.
But you didn't let it be over. For the next 30 years, you did it. I have to blame you for those 30 years. I can't blame them, they're not there. I can't blame the experience, it's not even happening. How dare you blame the experience that happened 25 years ago? You are the one who chose to keep that inside of you and let it destroy your life. Ooh, you gotta own that.
So relax and release.
And release. Just keep everything that comes up. Learn, I can be okay even though the heart hurts. I can be okay even though the mind is complaining. I can be okay even though my mind is saying, I don't want to do that. It's not my turn to do the dishes. He left anyway. I don't. I can be okay letting go of that and dealing with a deeper part of my being. Your whole life will change. And everyone around you will change. Everything will change. Correct?
Yes. And so if you're experiencing the deeper part of your being, I was just going back to what we started with, which again is the idea of control, that you're so dependent on things being a certain way in order to feel happy or content. But what you're saying is we can feel happiness or content, a different kind, if we're that deeper being.
You're complete and whole within yourself. You need nothing.
To happen a certain way or to be a certain way or to
You're
look
the
a
one
certain
who
way.
set up the condition that
Right.
said, I'll only be okay if he does this. Somebody else said, I'm going to freak out if he does that.
Yeah.
A thing is nothing in and of itself. It's an event. It's because you have a preconceived notion inside yourself based on all your, we call some scars, past impressions, right?
Right.
About how you want things to be and don't want them to be. It takes two to tango. It takes the event and your attitude about the event. You change your attitude about the event, everything changes, doesn't it?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
the deepest thing we can go, right? You change your attitude about the event. It's as if the event changed, everything changed.
And the attitude is remembering that you have this choice.
The attitude
To
is
be happy.
remembering that reality is bigger than you. And I mean a lot bigger than you, right?
Right.
I always tell everybody, the moment that's unfolding in front of you, how many other moments are happening in the universe that aren't unfolding in front of you? 700 billion zillion. Why is the moment in front of you any different than those? It's not. Look to the right, you'll have a different one. Look to the left, you'll have a different one. There is nothing special about the moment that's unfolding in front of you. There is nothing special about the moments that have unfolded in front of you, except that they're the ones you saw. Right? How can you let that totally random thing, that the universe is doing its thing, and I happen to see this part, this tiny part right now, determine who I am?
Right. So I was just thinking, okay, I missed my flight. Okay, I missed my flight.
That's right.
So this is reality.
Enjoy it. Enjoy your little vacation
Let's
in the hotel.
choose the next flight.
Whatever.
Right. Right.
It's not going to, what good
Yeah.
does it do to resist it?
Right. Right. It's amazing. It's so simple.
It's so,
and yet,
that's correct. We don't do it because, we don't do it for the exact reason that even though I've talked to Peter or Paul over and over again that this isn't how you get rid of insecurity, right? And he understands, he's not ready to let them go, is he? He's scared. He has to face that fear. You have to face the fear. You have
and
to
how
face
do you face the fear?
by relaxing in face of it. In the
Okay.
face of it, you
Okay.
relax.
So you're feeling it. You're just
Yes.